Savage with Code 45 Podcast. I tried to do a live stream earlier today. It didn't work out at all. So, I'm just going to do this, try this out. I've been thinking about switching cameras. So, we're going to switch cameras and see if this works a little bit better. What this is going to be our abridged version of Doctor Who. I'm going to try to shoot off the cuff, but the reasoning behind all this came from the Geek World All Stars crossover. And here, I'll just a little clip from the Geek World, the episode. Go ahead.
I think if you are not into Doctor Who, it's hard to watch because it is kind of cheesy at first.
It is. It's very cheesy. But like there are episodes where it's like, especially the episodes with the speeches. Like Matt Smith has his great one at the Pandorica where it's like, it's all of you versus just me. And that's all it is. And why are you guys just standing there? Because you know I've beaten you 1,000 times before. It's like, oh yeah, he's right. This is all of his enemies come back to try and take him on, and he's still scared. It's like, cause you have no idea what I'm capable of. And it's like, oh shit, he's right. And then Capaldi has that one speech where he's like, the two sides are about to blow each other up, and he's like, this is it. This is exactly what war is. It's just two people killing each other until they come to the realization they need to talk to each other. You stupid fucks.
So, does this mean that the Cult 45 YouTube channel will now have Randy Reed's Doctor Who?
No, if you want, I can. I will. I'll go back. And I'll do all the episodes from the first Doctor till Eccleston and just redo them myself.
So, basically that's the show. The idea is that I'm just going to go through the old episodes and just give the same spin that we do on our show, but for Doctor Who episodes. Classic Doctor Who episodes. Sound cool? Alright, good. Episode 1, Season 1, first pilot episode, The Unearthly Child. Yeah, made in 1963. So, it's got a lot to work with. So it has the first Doctor, William Hartnett, I believe his name is. And he's an old man. He's an old man. But we'll get there. It starts out with these two teachers, Barbara and Ian. And unlike most American teachers, they're actually worried about their students. I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry. No, students care about the teachers all the time. But, you know, they had the class size of 10 people rather than 30, so they could actually spend the time to worry about their kids. But the thing about Susan, and here's Susan. Susan she's 15 years old, but she's like TV 15, which means she's probably like 27. And I'd hate it, you know. I don't know. I'm a disgusting pig. But she is kind of weird for that age. In the 1960s, apparently she seems to be overly smart, good in math, science, and physics. And history as well. Like, it's weird how they're kind of... But she's so good at, like, knowing facts about history, but kind of adding her own spin to things. Like, fan fiction. Like, no, I did this one thing with Mark Anthony and Cleopatra. It's like, okay. No, you didn't, because you're weird. But they want to just check up on her because her grades are starting to slip. And they're worried about her because it seems like she's been gone for a week, but she only missed, like, you know, she was barely late that time. Like, it seems like she's missing time, but in fact, she's really not, right? Weird. Okay. Now, the point of the whole aspect of the show is that we're going to go through it like you've never seen it before. But I have. I've seen a lot of Doctor Who. So I know, I've explained a bit, and there's other YouTube videos about this as well. So, but I'm just going to try to get you guys hyped about the show using the older episodes, which is going to be strange. And so the two teachers, Barbara and Ian, follow the 15-year-old girl, which is odd, at night to her house. If it would just been Ian, definitely would have called the cops on him. But Barbara's there, so now it's kosher. They find out Susan's house is actually a junkyard, which is also odd. But there's no other houses around it. There's no, like, side railing. There's not even residence for her to live in. So they go into the junkyard following Susan, but they can't find her. Like, completely gone, vanished without a trace. And they're just searching around. Only thing inside the junkyard that seems to be odd is this blue police box. Now, I feel like this was something that existed back in 1963, like, or beforehand. But they're like, police boxes usually on the street. That doesn't make any sense. they're like phone booths, but they only call the police. They only call for help. And the thing about it with this box is like, it seems to be vibrating. Ooh. So Ian does a complete one around trying to find out where the vibration is coming from, but it's just a box by itself. Nothing's going on. They can't get into it, and it's empty. Or they think it's empty. And you can't get into it at all. But then they hear rustling, and they run and hide because they're adults trespassing in a junkyard. And this old man walks up. Now, the old man, he's got a key to the box, and he starts to wiggle into the key. And they're like, hey, can you let us in that box? It's like, who are you? What do you want? There's nothing here. Go away. Bye. Leave me alone. Obviously trying to hide something because he's like an old man. It doesn't make any sense. He does the classic old man, get out of my property. This ain't done. Like, you know, he's very defensive about his box. So Ian's like, we were looking for Susan. We followed her here. She hasn't escaped because there's only one way in or out. Is she in the box? No one's in the box. There's no one in the box. Cut to, literally wait 2 seconds to hear, Granddad! I'm inside the box! Son of a bitch. Because that's what kids do. They just fuck up at the most inopportune times. So, Barbara pushes into the box first. And Ian's right behind her. He's holding back the old man. No, don't go in there! And Barbara goes in and is completely, befuddled with what she sees. Now the thing about the box, for those who don't know, it's called a TARDIS. Time and Relative Dimension in Space. The thing about the TARDIS is, it is a spaceship. It is one of the most powerful spaceships known to man. It's the size of a telephone box, or a photo booth, for those who've never seen a telephone box. It's small on the outside, but on the inside, think skyscraper. Think walking, imagine if you were going into a photo booth that had completely blocked off all the windows and exits, and you opened a door and you walked in. Imagine going into a closet and then walking in and realize it was in a mansion. You expected a closet. You open the door and there's a mansion inside. And you're that's how big it is. And it's bigger than it's that. It's bigger than that. It's skyscraper big. It has hundreds of rooms, which they explain later. But it befuddles you because your concept of space is now changed. And that's why the doctor locks them in. The doctor literally takes Ian and Barbara inside and locks the doors. And it's like, I can't let you leave now. I'm like, why not? Because you know too much now. You know too much and I can't let you leave. Sorry. And Susan's trying to beg for their lives. You can't just you can't keep them here forever, Granddad. And it's like, I'm not planning on it, but I was just going to drop them off someplace, but they won't do any damage. Because the doctor's trying to protect the space-time continuum. Imagine if you were to drop a cell phone onto the lap of Adolf Hitler. Or imagine if you dropped the designs for an airplane onto Napoleon. Or imagine Julius Caesar gets a hold of a cannon way before his time. And it's these things are eventually going to happen, but it's the concept of if you've ever heard of the concept of the 4-minute mile, literally there was a time and place in human history where no one thought a 4-minute mile was possible. It was impossible for a human to run that fast. But now, humans do it all the time. We beat 4-minute miles with our own physical bodies because we weren't conceived of the idea of that was actually possible. But once we conceived of it that it was physically possible, we actually made it possible. So that's what the doctor's trying to stop them from, the idea that you could take a skyscraper and condense it down to a phone booth, to something like the size of a closet. That would be next level technology. Imagine, Ant-Man is one of the weakest, Avengers, yet he's still on the Avengers because of this ability to shrink. That's just one. Not even mentioning time travel or traveling through space in an instantaneous speed. Yeah, right? So, the doctor can't let them out, and he takes the TARDIS off planet, gone to another planet altogether. You don't know where at the end of the episode, but it ends up being Scarro, I think, or around Scarro, which is, I think, comes into point later, because like I thought we were going to meet these guys, the Daleks, later, but apparently that's happening in like 2 episodes. The Daleks are the bad guys. The bad guys. Trust me. They're the worst. But that's the end of the episode. Is the episode the Doctor takes off from TARDIS, taking Barbara and Ian along with him with Susan. And we're off on our adventures through time and space. Cool. So that's episode 1. And then I haven't gotten to episode 2 yet. I'm going to find it and watch it. But yeah, like it leaves you on such a cliffhanger that you have to watch the next episode. And I actually enjoy that, which is kind of strange. Like, I like shows that are like, well, don't know what's going to happen next time unless you watch the next episode. Goodbye. Like some shows, they'll cut like Firefly had a bad habit of doing this, where they would literally end an episode and you can move ahead 3 episodes and nothing would change in their perspective. Like I literally went 2 episodes ahead and like Ian is fighting with some space mounts, like fighting, delegating and having a courtroom battle with humanoids from another planet while the Daleks are preparing to attack. What? So much information is passed in 2 episodes. Anyway. What is a Dalek? We'll get there. I'll get there eventually. So, if you like this, let's continue on. If not, I'm going to try the live stream one more time. And then I'm going to forget live stream forever. Because it's not going to work. I swear, it's not going to work. Alright, guys. Peace.